Hello, my delicious darlings. I've been getting a lot of emails from parents and also young adults, kids, saying to me that at the moment there's a bit of anger going on. People are feeling a little bit cross and grumpy about things. And a lot of that I can understand. And actually, if you think about it, I always do this. I look at anger as an onion and I peel back the layers and I think, well, why am I angry about that? And then look at the next layer and think, okay, what's produced that and what's the root of that? And I go all the way down, and actually every single time I do that and go through all the layers of why I'm angry, which actually isn't very often, I'm quite lucky, it always boils down to fear. And everybody's talking about this new normality. Who wants normal? I shouldn't really say that, but who does want normal? Abnormal is way more interesting. But that aside, you know, people are wondering where they are, where they're at. So I thought today we'll take that anger, because anger is sometimes justified. I call it righteous anger. Sometimes we have every right to be angry, and being a whole person is embracing all those emotions within us. We can't all float around on a cloud the whole time being full of joy and happiness. It's not real. So in my work, I like to embrace, my second favourite word, all our emotions, because they're important, and it's good to be real, and it's good to face everything that's inside us. So we're going to look at anger today, which is not always a bad thing. But what's important with anger is that we don't just stay angry and grumpy and be a misog. We have to explore that anger, find out what the root is, and talk about it, discuss it, get it through, you know, learn how to work with it. Because it is part of us sometimes, so we have to learn how to deal with it. You know, where do we go with that anger? So I've got this little game, I've printed it off, called the anger game, and anybody can do it, people in wheelchairs, it's inclusive of everybody, and it's kind of not making it into fun, because anger is a real emotion, but it's doing it in a light-hearted way. I prefer this rather than sitting in front of somebody who ticks forms and I have to talk about anger. I can't go there, I can't behave. So I've got a dice and I don't know what it's going to land on, and I'll have to be brutally honest, this is the bit I dread. But remember, in anything I share with you, if you're with a group of people and you land on a question that is uncomfortable, you can just say, well, I know what that is that makes me angry, but I don't really want to talk about it right now. And the rest of the group then learn that respect, that there is a time and a place when people are ready to talk about things. It should never be extracted from them. You know, that's not how it works. That's not very nice. So if I find something that I can't really quite say, I'll be very honest and just say. So I've got 3. Oh, that's perfect. For every 3, say one where you can show self-control. Oh, sorry. Self-control. Yes, that's an interesting one. It's a bit like trying to contain a volcano. Ways I can show self-control. I walk, actually. I walk. Or I'll go and root myself I'll take my shoes off and stand on the ground and put my arms up to the sky. And I do that. The other thing I do is breathing. I try and really breathe it and blow away my anger and breathe in calm. So I have all different methods I can use because I'm trained. So, but those are just 3 things that I do that might be helpful for you. Right, let's have another go. Oh, fell off the thing. Oh, not 3 again. Something's telling me about self-control. 5. For every 5, describe a not so good choice you made when you were angry. Oh, when I sat in that room when my Ollie was 13, and I thought I was having a meeting with the head of English, and I was actually in a little room with 6 teachers, and they told me that my son would never achieve, and yet he'd been in top sets for English at school and Words Were His World. And I was so devastated at the heartbreak I knew it would cause him. There's this little road that is near my house called the Bratton Strait, and you can pull in, there's a lay-by, and I sat there and I bawled my eyes out. I bawled my eyes out because I thought, I don't know which way to turn from here. So that was a not so good choice, because I arrived with these big bulbous eyes, and yeah, and then I had to tell him. That wasn't good. But I worked through it. Don't worry about that. I found a way, because I always do. Number one, for everyone, say one thing that makes you angry. Okay, I'm angry at the pressures put on teachers who don't always have the adequate training with people with different abilities. And I don't like the way there isn't this inclusion. I don't like the way that, and I hate to say it, I probably get in trouble now, but I don't like the way governments put all the pressure of managerialism, paperwork, accountability on teachers, who then have to cope with classes full of kids with different needs. And I don't just mean special needs, I mean needs because they're going through so much at home, and their job is nigh on impossible to teach, be inclusive, but hold those individuals. And I think the training, I need to get into Downing Street, massage all their little heads, make them play games with me and show them. That's what I need to do. I'm going off on a tangent. Let me throw the dice again. I must stay on it. 6. For every 6, describe a good choice you made when you were angry. Oh, that's brilliant. After they took away my son's present and future by removing his English, I went straight to the top, and I got funding for him, and I was told, oh, they don't see people like you. And I thought, well, we need to change that a little bit. So I went along with my sandwiches and sat until the person I needed to see let me in, and then I think I talked them to death, and they signed the forms then and there. Then my son's funding was spent elsewhere anyway, because it didn't come to the school with his name on the, remember that. Mate, if you get funding, you hold the schools accountable. Not being horrible, but that's only right, because you fought hard for that. So when they removed all that, I would take him to literary festivals, and he would read his poems there and listen to other poets and engage with them. So that was a good choice I made when I was angry. You have to take life's cards and you have to flip them over, turn them upside down, find a way. There's always a way. No is never no. No one is limited. So that just gives you a vague idea about what to do when you're angry. But actually, sometimes it's okay to be angry, and you can go and have a good old stomp and walk it off, or you know, you got to really, don't let it stay inside you. Don't let it stay inside you. I'm going to have one more go. What am I going to get this time? 2. Oh, I've done that one. No, I haven't. For every 2, say one thing you can do to cool off when you're angry. I do walk. I walk and walk and walk. It's lovely, even at night. And I'm so lucky because I've got beautiful, cosy forests and things. And I always feel safe there. And I walk. So there's lots of things that you can do. So this is just one way. You can actually take this anger game and you could make it a game about disappointment or happiness, or, you know, you can make it yours. Everything, I always say this, everything I ever share with you, you can flip it around and make it your own. So if you've got a child who's feeling squashed, you could make it the squashed game. And it's amazing how much you can work through in this way. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. And I'm going to get on with my day, where I'm feeling very calm and not at all angry. And thank you so much for all your lovely comments and things this week. I've loved it. I've loved it. I'm bursting with more ideas to share with you next week. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody, and I'll see you soon.